Hi, today I want you to be able to have a map on how to measure yourself and how you're going, or maybe how a friend is going, based on the 2 dimensions of change. The first dimension of change, remember, is from suffering to succeeding or flourishing. And that produces 2 rows. So we can either be struggling like fish, as it were, under the water level. Mind you, fish don't struggle, but if we were under the water level for too long, we'd struggle. And then when we're flying high, maybe like birds, then we're going to be going, well, suffering to flourishing. Then the second dimension of change, from your perspective, is from self-centered to God-centered. And moving from the left, as it were, to the right, those 2 columns, leaves us then with 4 quadrants. We can be in the top right-hand quadrant here. We can be God-centered flourishing. The difference with God-centered flourishing and self-centered flourishing is that these people here, like Jesus, go down to others to bring them up. Self-centered flourishing people really believe in the philosophy of evolution, which is survival of the fittest. I'm going to put down or let down others that I might succeed. A toxic way of life. Then what happens to those people who are let down or put down? They end up in a place they should never be, which is self-centered suffering. We don't belong there. God never made that left-hand side. It should not exist. It's a place of evil, frankly. The final place is this bottom right-hand quadrant, where Job's counselors thought there was not such a thing as God-centered suffering. If you're suffering, you must be sinning. That's not right. Sometimes we can really be struggling and having a hard time, yet pressing into God. And a lot of the Psalms are written like that. Jesus himself spent a lot of time in that bottom right-hand quadrant, especially when he came to the cross. Just wondering where you think you might be at in any part of your life at the moment. God-centered flourishing or self-centered flourishing, self-centered suffering or God-centered suffering. And have a think about that. Maybe also wonder about how someone else you know, where they might be at. Draw it out and show them and see where they think they might be at now and what they need to do to be changing, to be moving towards more God-centered flourishing. Thanks for watching. I'm Dr. John.